wanted to know, you donated your house vacation package to help raise scholarships for women. What part of your story do you feel, Loida, is most important for young women to hear right now?
Well, first of all, I did not intend to be in the United States because my father's dream for me was to be a lawyer. He was a businessman and did not finish law. And so when I became a lawyer, he sent me on a round-the-world trip to come back to the Philippines and start my political career. When I was 7 years old, he had a movie theater, Loida Theater, so that when I'm ready to run for public office, I already have name recognition. But as destiny, or I think God's will, I met the love of my life, Reginald Lewis. My plan was not to get married. He was better than me. I'm type A, as you can see. He's triple A. I am intense. He was more intense. I am ambitious, but he was more ambitious. And sure enough, after we got married in 20 years, he bought Beatrice International for $1 billion leverage buyout, meaning almost all borrowed money. 64 companies in 31 countries. That's the Beatrice International. And so your question is,
Yes.
what was in me as a Filipino woman? Well, very sadly, after running the company for 5 years, he died of brain cancer within 2 weeks. And that totally devastated me. It was for those who have lost a loved one, when somebody dies that suddenly, you will be out of your mind as I was. I was a basket case, totally discombobulated. But as I have said before, because I believe that God loves me, that He will not abandon me. And I remember the Psalm of Isaiah, a mother may forget the baby on her breast, but I will not forget you. And so, holding tight to my faith, I was able to get up. And I said, I better run the company. Why? Because at that time, the company was going down. A strong leader died. It was recession in Europe in 1993. Half of our business was in ice cream. And in that summer, it rained in Spain and Germany and Italy and France and all the north countries, the Scandinavian countries. And so the business was going down. And we started to interview CEOs. Most of them are white, obviously. But when I asked them, can you make it successful? I'll try my best. In my mind, try your best. What if it fails? Then I'll point my finger. So rather than pointing a finger to others, I pointed to myself. I might as well take over, because if it fails, it's my fault. But if it succeeds, it's because I was able to get good people around me. Why? Because I never ran a business. So my lesson to all women especially, when something comes to your way, an opportunity, don't say, oh, I'm not ready. You'll never be ready. I don't know how to do the job. You will learn the job as it comes along. Why? Because when opportunity comes and you say no, it may never come again. So that's my lesson to the women in this room.
Just amazing. Wow. Loida, I want to ask you, what would you consider your greatest achievements professionally and personally? Now, we're talking about a woman here, folks, who came to the United States, okay? And she did not go to law school here in the US. And she passed that New York bar exam and was the first Asian woman to do so. Yes. So with that, professionally and personally, what are your greatest achievements?
Well, personally, Mr. Lewis and I have 2 girls, Leslie and Christina. And I am so proud that when Mr. Lewis died, I knew I would be mother and father to them. And so both of them graduated from Harvard University with honors. That's one. Thank you. After many years, they both graduated, and now my eldest daughter, Leslie, is teaching how to invest in the stock market among African Americans because Mr. Lewis was African American. And Leslie knows, especially after George Floyd, the disparity in economic status of the African American community and the white community, and it's wide. So, by teaching them how to invest in the stock market, her idea is that the multi-generational wealth can be passed on from generation to generation. So that's Leslie. Secondly, Christina, my younger daughter, she decided to start a family office, Beatrice Advisors. Why? Because after 50 years of civil rights, many African Americans have developed businesses and they sell them. $100 million or several $1 million, but because they've been working all their lives, they really don't know how do you handle wealth? How do you pass it on from generation to generation? So both of them are into serving others. Leslie to serve the disadvantaged community, and Christina to serve the advantaged community. So I'm proud of the two of them.
This. I wonder where that comes from, huh? What about professionally? What would you say is your biggest accomplishment?
Professionally, and with this, because, I am many decades over you. In fact, my book, Why Should Guys Have All the Fun? It's a takeoff from my husband's book, Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun? When they are saying, why did you write this book? I said, in my husband's book, I'm only chapter 6, one chapter. But I have more than one chapter. And so I wrote this book, Why Should Guys Have All the Fun? And I wrote it because I want it out before I turned 75. But I was 76, 77, 78. I'm nearly 80. It has to be out. And whenever I said, what? You're 80 years old? And I said, aha, that's my next book. Look younger when you're older. No Botox, no surgery.
Woo! How about that, huh?